Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Tri Community family and friends. I have a story for you. This story takes place on Good Friday. The title of my story is Three Crosses on a Lonely Hill. Early in the morning, the Roman soldiers brought Jesus to the leaders of the people. "Are you the Son of God?" the leaders asked. "I am," replied Jesus. "That can't be true," the man shouted. "You must die for saying such a thing." So the leaders took Jesus to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate did not think Jesus was guilty of any crime. He asked the crowds, what should he do with Jesus? "Crucify him!" they shouted. So Pilate ordered that Jesus be killed. Then Pilate washed his hands and said, "Don't blame me for Jesus' death." The soldiers put a crown of thorns on Jesus' head. They played a cruel game pretending that he was a king. Afterwards, they made Jesus carry a heavy cross through the streets to Calvary Hill. There, they nailed him and two thieves on the crosses. Jesus looked down from the cross at the people. "Father, forgive them," he prayed. "They know not what they do." And he died, and his spirit went up to God. Jesus of Arimathea buried Jesus in a small cave cut into a rock on the side of a hill. He rolled a big round rock in front of the tomb to shut it. Mary Magdalene and another woman named Mary watched while Joseph buried Jesus. Then Joseph and the two Marys returned to their homes. It had been a very sad day, but there would be happier days to come. And that is the end of our story. Now, what happens on Good Friday is very sorrowful. We sometimes want to not remember Good Friday, and we wonder, why is it called Good Friday when something so horrible happened to Jesus? We need to remember that the good comes on Sunday morning. The good comes when the tomb is rolled away and Jesus is not there, because he has risen just as he said he would. Now, you have another video from me that will give you the Easter story. But you also hopefully are receiving a craft in your bags that you got from Drive Through Church this morning, or in the morning on Sunday, that will give you a craft. So I want to help you put that craft together. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at the vocabulary words. So from last week, we had Jesus, the donkey, and our palm sleeve from Palm Sunday. And then this evening, we talked again about Jesus, and then we also talked about Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. We learned that they mocked him as king and put a crown of thorns on his head. We also learned that Jesus was nailed to the cross. That was for us. That was so that we could have everlasting life. After he died, they put him in a tomb. And Mary Magdalene and Mary were the ones that were with Joseph when he was buried. So you want to remember that Mary knew that Jesus was in the tomb. And then our last vocabulary word is just our three crosses on a lonely hill. Sorry, the lighting's kind of getting here. So what you are going to do, either you have one of these craft sheets, Or if you were listening to this and you do not have a craft sheet, you have your imagination. You have everything you need inside your brain to do this activity, even if you don't have my pre-drawn pictures. I have faith that all of you can draw these photos or a representation of these photos to make our vocabulary storyboard. So first off, to make our storyboard, we're going to take a blank sheet of paper and we're going to fold it into eighths. So I'm going to fold it in half like a hot dog. Fold it again. And fold it one more time. So that I get 8 sections. Now, if you do not have my pictures, you are going to start in box 1 and you're going to draw the first thing you remember about Palm Sunday. And you can choose whether that's Jesus, the donkey, or the palm leaf. Whichever one of those. You're going to put that in box 1, 2, and 3. Then once we come to Good Friday, I talked about Jesus again. And actually, how about we do this? How about we use the donkey in the first box, the palm leaf in the second box, and then Jesus in the third box. Because then when you start to talk about Jesus again on Good Friday, he's right there in the next order. I'm going to glue these down real quick. Another thing is if you don't have glue, you also can draw these on your paper, okay? So that you have a storyboard to remind you of Easter. And so on Good Friday, I learned that they did not believe that Jesus was the Son of God. So they went to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, to have him crucified. So Pontius Pilate came into the story, and then they created the crown of thorns to go on his head because he was the king. But they did not believe he was a king, so they gave him a crown of thorns. When he died, they put Jesus in the tomb. And then, as you will learn, Mary was there the night that Jesus died, and she was also there on Easter morning. And I just made a mistake, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Our 3 crosses on a lonely hill. On the lonely hill, we're going to come in after the crown of thorns. Before Jesus is laid in the tomb. So here's my storyboard. And so once you put this together, I would like you to share this with someone. I'd like you to share our story. Just by using the pictures and remembering, retelling what you remember of the stories that I've told you. Okay? Happy Easter. Take care.